Good morning, I'm Mai Rodriguez. Welcome to Pathways to Success, where we turn the spotlight on the heroes of the Philippine economy, our micro, small, and medium enterprises. We follow their inspiring journey and give great insight on what it takes to scale up their business. Starting a business is always an exciting idea, but you have to watch your budget, keep an eye on rising expenses, and those sneaky hidden costs. If you don't, you can drain resources and hurt growth. These overlooked expenses can creep into daily operations, often going unnoticed until they start affecting your bottom line. Now today we will talk about how to find and cut these hidden costs. It's all about making sure your hard-earned money stays where it should. And our business mentor for today is a certified franchise executive and strategic planning consultant, Rhea Flores. Welcome to the show, Rhea.
Thank you, Ms. Mai.
It's good to have you here because this is such an important topic for us to discuss, right? But many business owners don't realize that hidden costs, how hidden costs can sneak up on them. But before we dive into that, let's talk about your background. First, can you give us a bit of the story of your journey, how you got into this, how you started as a certified franchise executive?
Yes, Ms. Mai. So currently, I am part of a consulting company called FranCorp Philippines. At FranCorp, what we do is we create the structure for businesses who would like to franchise their business. So for myself, what I do is I do their structure, I do their business planning, and that mostly entails predicting their sales. But more importantly, as related to our topic, it is about foreseeing or anticipating their costs as they franchise their business.
Of course, we've had several businesses from FranCorp. We have guested them on this show, and you've built such an impressive career. Kudos to you. Now, one route you can take to grow is franchising, of course. We all know that, but there is, strategic planning and cost control involved. Tell us, why is this so important?
Yeah, so strategic planning is very important because that is your game plan on how you will get from point A to point B in your business. So right now, maybe you're operating one store and you would like to grow it to 2, 3, or maybe national. So you need a strategic plan for you to reach such goals. And cost control is an important part of that strategic plan because cost control would enable you to maximize your profits. So that's how important cost control is as part of your strategic plan.
Okay, cost control.
Yes.
Very important because there is such a thing called hidden costs.
Yes.
Tell us, what are hidden costs?
So these hidden costs, from the term, the business owners don't realize that they are incurring such costs in their business. So most of the business owners, or most of the new business owners, what they primarily care about are their sales, their top line, but not minding if they are reaching that sales levels at the expense of incurring costs. So these costs are, some of these hidden costs are the cost of inefficiencies. So some business owners, they feel that wastages are not costs, but really it is.
Kasama dun yung redundancies, no?
Yes.
Okay, sa mga staff mo.
Yes.
Okay.
So if there are too many people doing a simple job, then that's an expense, that's a hidden cost. Another type of hidden cost is, so related to that is yung employee turnover. So you don't realize that when someone resigns, there's a cost to rehiring somebody.
Oh, sayang yun kasi na-train mo na yung tao yun, ano? And then if you let him go or for some reason he decides to go, diba, that's also such a waste because you've already poured in resources for that person.
You've spent money on advertising that this job position is hiring, and then you've also spent money to train that specific
Yes.
person. So that's another cost there.
And it's so common for small business owners to overlook these hidden costs. Ano pa yung mga ibang examples?
So some of the other hidden costs there are for retail concepts, yung theft, yung pilferage. So small
Yeah.
things, you don't realize that it adds up, it becomes costs.
I've heard some stories, ang laki ng pilferage, lalo na sa franchise business.
Not specifically to franchise business, but to most businesses actually, to those who are starting, because they take for granted na yung layout ng kanilang merchandising, it's very prone to pilferage, like may dadaan lang dyan sa corner, and it's easy to pick up things, and as owners, you don't realize that you're losing money because of the simple problem of the store layout.
So aside from that, pilferage, store layout, ano pa?
Other costs would be yung ating so there's inefficiencies in your processes. Like if you're doing things over and over again, that's costs. Or that's cost that adds up to your costs. Yung paulit-ulit, not getting the orders right, that's cost. If you redo things, that's cost for your business also.
And this is where streamlining your processes come in.
Exactly.
Okay, so before we dive into solutions such as that, okay, let's discuss how businesses, especially those in franchising, can create a solid cost control strategy. Paano ba?
So, unang-una dyan is recognizing where are you losing money. So yes, it is important to see how the business is making money, but it is also important to know saan yung butas, saan lumalabas yung pera. You do that by doing your financial audits. You monitor your costs, kasi kung hindi, you don't know how you're losing money. So that's one of the advice that we give our clients to those who want to franchise their business or business owners in general.
Okay, we'll get more into financial audits and all those strategies you can do. So much more to cover, but let's take a quick break. Up next, we will explore how to cut down on hidden costs in your business. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Pathways to Success. Let's continue our discussion about spotting hidden costs in business with Rhea Flores, a certified franchise executive. Now, Rhea, earlier we have discussed what are hidden costs, but are these the same costs that you see in the food business or service and retail?
Some of them, they're the same, but for each industry, we see unique hidden costs, such as for food concepts, as I mentioned earlier, there's the cost on wastage. There's also cost for spoilage. So sometimes you prepare extra that hindi naman nabebenta, so ultimately nasisira siya, so that's cost. There's also cost for breakage, especially for restaurant concepts like may nabasag na pinggan, that's a cost. So for retail naman, I also mentioned earlier yung ating pilferage.
Yeah.
So yung mga small items that are easily taken by customers, that's cost for you. And then for the retail industry, yung return and refunds na policy, it could sum up as malaking cost to you if the product quality is not there. So the tendency of your customers is to return it to you. So you have to refund them, or you have to spend on deliver or on logistics. So that's cost. And seasonal inventory, especially with the coming Christmas season. So you buy inventory for Christmas, and then if you don't sell everything, there's no way for you to sell it already. Next Christmas, baka iba na yung uso. So cost din yan for you in the retail industry.
So these are the most common hidden costs for food, service, and retail. You mentioned, what's this? The return, refund policy, which is actually pro-customer, right? It helps the customer. We all want that. But how can, on the business side of things, how can they, not make this a disadvantage for them?
So for one, yung product quality natin, we have to ensure that the quality that we sell to our customers are at par or magandang quality, because if the quality is not good, then syempre yung customer would like to return it. And then getting orders right. So you have to make sure that the order of the customer is fit kung ano yung dineliver mo, so that hindi tayo magkakaroon ng problems with returns and refunds.
This is not just for online sales, right? This is especially for, physical stores.
Yes, that's right.
And that's where training your team comes in.
That's right. So yung training, yung continuous development of our employees, that's one way to minimize cost din. Kasi nga when we hire someone, it's a cost for us. So keeping our employees competent and happy with their job, that would also minimize your hidden costs.
For the food business naman, you mentioned spoilage, wastage. How do you cut costs in terms of, preventing those things?
Yes, so for the food industry, what we see, especially for the new ones, is not doing their sales mix review. Sales mix is studying ano ba yung gumagalaw ng mabilis, what are your fast-moving items, what are your slow-moving items. For the slow-moving ones, you consider if you really need to keep that in your menu. Kasi if it's slow-moving, there's inventory there. If the inventory is not moving, then that's cost for you. So you study which among your items sell fast, para yun yung ilalagay natin sa inventory natin, so that yung inventory natin becomes efficient, hindi siya nagiging cost instead.
Now, Rhea, are there specific red flags or patterns that businesses should be looking out for?
What we've seen with some of our clients is yung lack of knowledge. That's why hindi sila familiar or hindi nila alam that they are making these costs. So it's either hindi sila aware because they're not monitoring, or they're not familiar with the business. So for some of them, papasok lang sila sa negosyo thinking that if I sell enough, I will make enough profits. Not realizing that kasama nung sales, dapat binabantayan din natin yung costs and expenses that we incur in running the business.
Like these are what we're showing in our graphics. Focus on direct costs.
Yes.
Ano to?
So for food, yung direct cost natin talks about ano ba yung pumapasok. Let's say, burger ka. You're a burger business. So the direct cost of the business is the buns, the patty, the vegetables, the dressing. But some business owners, they don't realize that the paper that you pack your burger in is also part of the cost. Most of the time, ang focus ng negosyante, yung burger lang mismo. They forget that the paper packaging is a cost. They forget that the delivery is a cost. So, yun po yung isa sa mga nakakaligtaan.
All of it that comes into your product, those are costs.
Yes.
Okay, so please share with us some of your stories, your personal experience with businesses on how they handled doing away with these hidden costs, how they managed it effectively. So,
in our experience, yung isang malaking bagay talaga is making them realize that they are making these expenses, they are incurring these hidden costs. And how do we do that? It's showing them their financials. If they see that sa operating expenses ko, ang laki-laki palang nai-incur ko, because hindi nila nare-realize that they are spending too much on packaging, they are spending too much on, let's say, LPG if you're a business, food business. Also yung sa staff, sa labor cost. If they're spending too much on labor, then it becomes a problem because nagkakaroon niya ng effect sa bottom line ng negosyante. So talagang importante yung if you have a business, you do your financials, you do your financial statements.
Okay, let's talk about strategy some more. Can you give us some of the more effective ways to identify and reduce unnecessary expenses without compromising on quality, without compromising on customer satisfaction?
Ayun. So I've been stressing enough as a strategic planner kasi it's very important for us yung financial statement. So doing your financials, that will really make you realize the costs that you are incurring. And then technology. So wag tayong matakot sa technology, no? So some of the business owners, they feel that technology is mahal, magasto siya. At the onset, yes, but in due time, mababawi mo yung ininvest mo in technology because of the savings in your operating expenses.
Okay, dito pumapasok yung financial audits, dapat
Yes.
regular yan.
Yes.
Yung technology mo na sinasabi, applying technology where possible, and also yung how to negotiate ba with suppliers?
So for suppliers, normally naman ang hinahanap nila sa isang negosyante is volume. So especially if you're a business owner na merong multiple branches, for franchisors, this is very relevant because franchisors, they have multiple branches. So if you can give the volume that your supplier requires, then maybe you can negotiate volume discounts, or maybe referral system. If you could refer your supplier to other businesses na katabi mo, then maybe you can get something out of it para ultimately yung profit margins mo would be better.
Okay, now, can you give us some examples of tools and systems that can help us manage costs better?
So for financial systems, we've seen business owners that are using yung tawag dito, Excel. Sila lang yung may access doon. If they have multiple branches, you want access to the financials of all your branches. So, yung as simple as yung mga shared files, that's one way for you to enable yung access to data. And because if you have data, you can analyze your data, you can see where your costs are high para magawan mo ng paraan. And then yung adding efficiency to our process. So be it, you check if kailangan ba talaga ganyang karaming tao, kailangan ba talaga ganyan karaming oil, for example. Check for efficiencies. Yung simpleng layout ng kitchen mo, if it could save a few seconds, then that would minimize your costs. So budgeting and forecasting, expense tracking, it also can be used when you use your mga data and analytics.
So everything needs, regular evaluation, even your people, your systems, your inventory, your
Yes.
audits. Okay, dapat regular yan. Thank you so much. But we have to take another quick break. When we return, we'll discuss how to build a cost-conscious culture in your team. We'll be right back. So, the graphics helps.
Yan na. Nakikita ko na siya.
Welcome back to Pathways to Success. Now, here's some good news. The Philippines is the first country in Asia to export Hass avocados to Japan, a significant milestone in the country's agricultural export growth. The Department of Agriculture announced the Philippines has successfully expanded its export portfolio to Japan, which already includes bananas and pineapples. The addition of Hass avocados further solidifies our position as a key supplier of high-quality fruits to a market known for its discerning consumers. Agriculture Secretary Francisco Tiu Laurel is optimistic this access granted by Japan will lead to opportunities in other international markets. The global market for Hass avocados is projected to reach $18 billion by next year. That's certainly good news. And back to our guest still with us is Rhea Flores, a certified franchise executive. Now, Rhea, as the business landscape evolves, especially in franchising, how do you see cost control strategies evolving in the future?
So for the franchising industry, sumasabay naman tayo sa kung ano yung nagaganap dun sa business landscape in general. So franchise brands, they also adapt technology where it is possible, where it is relevant. And also, stricto rin yung mga franchisers natin in doing financial reviews, financial audits. Because in franchising, the success of the franchisee is also the success of the franchisor. So yung margins are very important for the franchisors. And supplier negotiations for franchisors, this is very relevant because franchisors have the numbers, they have economies of scale. So they can definitely negotiate with suppliers with regard yung costing ng kanilang mga raw materials. And then for continuous employee development, our franchisors are always on the lookout to empower their employees because their employees, they work with franchisees, and if the employees, they need to be empowered enough to support their franchisees. So one of the examples that franchisors do for their employees is sending them to the CFE or Certified Franchise Executive Training course, such as ako. Si FranCorp, they send their consultants to the CFE courses so that we will always be up to date with what's latest in the franchising industry.
Right. And of course, your whole team must be on board with this strategy, cost-cutting strategy. Now, how do you develop a cost-conscious culture in your business?
So being cost-conscious is not something that you should be ashamed of as a business. So as a matter of fact, you should be sharing this mission to your employees. You share the mission and then reward yung mga cost-saving activities so that your employees know that this is the behavior that is expected and this is wanted of them. So rewarding yung mga cost-saving initiatives should be one, and communicating that the business is on a cost-saving mission is another.
So, okay, let's sum it up for our viewers. How to make this sustainable? Yung cost-cutting strategies nyo, the cost-conscious culture, how do you make it sustainable for the long term and ensure the success of your business?
So to make it sustainable, I feel that yung monitoring talaga should be there. Financial audit should be in place so that you know how you are losing money. And if you track your expenses, you'll be able to control yung expenses mo.
Okay, yeah. Don't just monitor your sales, monitor your costs and expenses. And dito na rin pumapasok yung regular financial audits, regular inventory, regular training.
Right.
Okay, maraming salamat. We've learned so much from you. Thank you for your insights and sharing your expertise. Thank you for stopping by, Rhea.
Thank you so much, Miss Mai, for having me.
Okay, and that's our episode today. I'm Mai Rodriguez. If you're ready to tackle those unexpected expenses, it's time to take action. We hope you picked up some practical tips to improve your business's financial health. Stay tuned for more expert advice in our next episode of Pathways to Success, only here on BNC, the Billionaire News Channel.